Whether you call it a low-riding SUV or a tall hatchback, the 2023 Hyundai Kona is a practical and fun-to-drive vehicle, which makes it one of the best in the segment. With its distinctive exterior design, spacious and well-appointed cabin, and a range of advanced safety and technology features, the Kona is a compelling option for anyone in the market for a small SUV, whether you are running errands or out for a weekend adventure. Honda, on the other hand, has given its 2023 HR-V a complete makeover to better combat the onslaught of desirable and stylish small SUVs that have flooded the market. The outgoing generation was practical and offered good value, but it lagged the segment's best, the Hyundai Kona, in almost every way. No surprise then that the new HR-V looks totally different from the outgoing model. So, is the new HR-V ready to dethrone the Kona? Well, let's find out. The 2023 Hyundai Kona has a distinctive and eye-catching exterior design that sets it apart from other small SUVs on the market. The front features a bold hexagonal grille with a unique pattern that is flanked by narrow LED headlights that wrap around the corners of the car. The body is sculpted and has a muscular stance with a sloping roofline that gives it a sporty look. The wheel arches are flared for a rugged, off-road-ready appearance. The rear is equally stylish with a sleek rear spoiler and slim LED taillights and a metallic skid plate on the bumper which adds to its off-road-inspired look. With the 2023 model, the HR-V has gone from one of the smallest options in the class to the largest, adding around 9 inches in length. The exterior rework brings wide LED lights in the front, flanking a bold grille with a mesh pattern. The car's hood is sculpted with subtle creases that gives it a dynamic look. The side profile is flowing and sculpted, with sweeping lines and a sloping roofline that gives it a hatchback appearance. And just like the Kona, the arches are subtly flared, which adds to the athletic stance. At the rear, large LED taillights wrap around the corners, giving it a modern and high-tech look. The rear bumper is sculpted with a metallic skid plate that adds to its rugged and adventurous appearance. Overall, the design of both cars are good in their own rights, but if I had to choose, the Hyundai Kona takes this one with its funky design rather than the Honda's muted one. Jumping inside, Hyundai's designers managed the tough task of bringing the charm of the Kona's exterior design to the cabin while maintaining comfort and convenience. The dashboard features a clean and uncluttered layout with a floating infotainment screen at the center and air vents that are integrated into the design. The cabin is well put together with a mix of soft-touch plastics, cloth and leather upholstery, and metallic accents. The climate controls feature physical knobs and buttons, which is a plus. One of the Kona's major perks is the easy-to-use infotainment system, which is augmented for 2023 with the availability of Hyundai's 10.25-inch widescreen display. With that, or the standard 8-inch touchscreen, a user-friendly interface pairs with plenty of physical shortcut buttons, and importantly, physical volume and tuning knobs. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are standard features on all models. Also, now found on the top trim is an all-digital instrument panel with enhanced functionality and appearance. With a whole new exterior comes a whole new interior, shared with the Honda CR-V. The HR-V's layout and design are very similar. The look is clean and uncomplicated, the dash is low and aids in both visibility and making the cabin feel spacious. All the buttons and knobs feel high quality with tight, solid action, whether it's a turn signal stalk or the highly welcome climate control dials. Though there are many plastics, they have attractive finishes and patterns. It's not quite up to the premium feel of the CX-30, but it's comparable to the Kona. As for instruments and infotainment, the HR-V features an analog speedometer combined with a 7-inch screen that can display the tachometer and other information. The standard infotainment display is a 7-inch touchscreen that can use Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. On the higher EXL trim, the HR-V gets a larger 9-inch touchscreen and is capable of wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. This new system is better than the outgoing model, featuring large, attractive, and easy-to-press icons. There are fewer layers of menus and far faster reactions. It's a system that's actually nice to use. Overall, when it comes to the infotainment system, both the Kona and the HR-V cover the essentials, but the Kona wins here with both its digital gauge cluster and the larger infotainment screen. As for passenger space, the Kona is on the small side even for the subcompact SUV segment. There is a reasonable amount of space in the front, but not quite as much leg or headroom as you will find in many rivals. And it gets worse, it's rather cramped in the back. If you are more than 6 feet tall, expect your knees to be wedged against the back of the seat and front, which is covered in unforgiving hard plastic. Likewise, the Kona's cargo area is on the small side. With the rear seats up, 19.2 cubic feet of space is available, and when the rear seats are folded, only 45.8 cubes are available. While Honda's numerical measurements are only average, it's as comfortable, if not more so, than both its predecessor and its primary rivals. The driver and front passenger get excellent bucket seats for those longer trips and commutes, while the 60/40 split fold-in rear bench has better thigh support and a more natural seating position than the outgoing HR-V and the Hyundai Kona. It also feels airier and less cramped than the Kona, thanks in part to bigger windows and good outward visibility. In terms of cargo space, there is 24.4 cubic feet, which is 4 cubes more than you will find in the Kona. It also boasts a back seat that folds totally flat thanks to a seat bottom that dips down into the footwell. Pricing for the 2022 Kona SE starts at $23,500 including destination. Standard equipment is pretty generous with 16-inch alloy wheels and a full complement of drive and assist features. Next up is the SEL for $25,000 to $100, with the top limited trim going for $31,000. All-wheel drive is a $1,500 option. The 2023 Honda HR-V, on the other hand, starts at $24,900 for two-wheel drive LX and tops out at $30,000 to $100 for an all-wheel drive EXL. That makes it competitively priced, aligning closely with the Kona. Considering Honda's well-documented reputation for reliability and resale value, there is more value to be found than just a lower price and well-stocked features list. When it comes to performance and handling, the Kona comes with two engine options. The SE and SEL trim levels are powered by a 2-liter inline-4 that produces 147 horsepower and 132 pound-feet of torque paired with a CVT automatic, or a turbocharged 1.6-liter 4-cylinder engine producing 175 horsepower and 195 pound-feet of torque. Although power in the base engine is modest, we've found it to be sprightly enough and is a nice complement to the Kona's generally fun demeanor. The 1.6-liter turbo is just as potent as ever, and although its dual-clutch automatic transmission can occasionally be a little slow to respond when starting from a stop, it largely behaves like a normal automatic once underway. The suspension is comfortable without being too squishy, and athletic but not crashy over rough roads. The steering has unexpected heft and crispiness to it, with only little looseness on the center, and it was refreshing to see an automaker other than Mazda step up to the level of driving dynamics in this segment. Another bonus is that the Kona has a lock-in diff and hill descent control. As for the Honda, the 2023 HR-V isn't particularly athletic when it's time to put the hammer down. The biggest culprit is the low torque rating of just 138 pound-feet, though the 158 horsepower is also a bit lackluster. The Kona's turbocharged engine smokes the HR-Vs in this regard. It has to be coaxed up a mountain grade. Its uninspiring CVT on course engine note make it sound like the car is working even harder than it is. If only Honda has given the HR-V the same 1.5-liter turbo as the Civic, because it plain needs more grunt. But aside from the dull powertrain, the HR-V is actually pretty fun to drive. A multi-link rear suspension comes standard across the board, giving the Honda the sort of composure you'd expect from a more expensive vehicle. Limited body roll and accurate steering make it easy to preserve momentum through corners, and the brakes are likewise confidence-inspiring. Overall, it's much more refined, with the soft suspension smothered at large bumps while the car tracks true through corners. There is far less road noise now as well, especially compared to the Kona. On the highway, the HR-V rides with a quiet confidence that the old model could never quite master. So, which one to choose? The 2023 Honda HR-V is less clever and innovative than its predecessor. It also doesn't lean into any one niche market as most of its competitors do. It's just very conventional, which may make it less interesting, but it's also easy to see how it will make it more appealing to more people. Therefore, as simple, dependable transportation, the 2023 HR-V should absolutely deliver. It's one of the more spacious SUVs in its segment. It also has a lovely, well-made interior with solid technology and overall refinement that exceeds most of its competition.